puts Kentucky back on the field. And then Ray Davis, all day Ray. Man, oh man, is Davis doing it up.
This is Tootin taking it to his left. Got a seam. Facial Tootin on the move. Got some alleys out there. Beep, beep, touchdown.
Back shoulder throw. He's got it. It's Tez Johnson. Johnson. Colin Johnson. Touchdown.
Is their defense. Little hole there to the right side. First down and then some. Jeremiah Love. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
It's Williams in motion. Low snap. Melrose stopped. Michigan makes a stand and comes up with a milestone playoff victory.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Week 0 podcast. We are doing our shows now on Sundays. Obviously, we just had one on Thursday, but we're just starting this now to get back into that. So it's also perfect because a lot happened yesterday. So, of course, I'm your host, Top Left Box, coming to you from my cousin's place in Denver. So Ryan's probably happy that I'm there right now.
Yeah.
Of course, Ryan, playoffs, travel. And, of course, Josh, studio buffering Bryant. He's not going to show us his face or his studio until it's complete. So, right, Josh?
That's right.
So, but, yeah, there's been a lot to talk about. Let me get into it. So, a lot happened yesterday. I think we can first just talk about real quick. And we'll also be doing our first, we'll be doing week 14. Let me change this. 8 people. So obviously the big, we had a top 5 matchup, Ohio State versus Indiana. Indiana lost by 23, I want to say. So what are you guys' thoughts?
So I know Josh has a lot to say on Indiana. I do think it was ironic that mainly Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, and Ole Miss were bitching and complaining the entire past few weeks about Indiana shouldn't be that high. They haven't played nobody, even though Indiana was undefeated, was more deserving. And it's ironic because immediately after this game, everyone knew like Indiana's out, right? No way they get in. And those same people, it was like Barstool Bama retweeted Barstool Indiana and said, "See, this is how fraudulent you guys are." And then later in the night,
Alabama, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
All
So
it's fantastic.
So they were bitching.
Indiana's chance at the playoff is now probably stronger than it was before the game. So. The irony is hilarious.
But I don't know how you guys feel necessarily. I still think Indiana should stay in the top 10. I think they fall. I think I had them slide behind Penn State, Notre Dame, SMU, and Miami. So I have them at that 9 spot, I believe. I still think that they should be kept in front of teams like Georgia and Tennessee, just because those losses have to matter. Hey, Georgia.
Well, it's also none of those teams have. Ironically, I don't think any of those teams have. Both Indiana, other than Georgia over Texas, which is about the only good win any of those teams have. Also, Indiana probably has the best loss of any of those teams.
Besides
Indiana
Penn State,
doesn't have any better wins than any of those teams either.
But at the same time, it's just like you can't. Using the argument of like, oh, this team would beat that team you can't make that argument because we won't
Absolutely could.
So, because, this is Josh's SEC bias right here coming in.
So,
sure.
I'm sorry. I want a Cincinnati 2.0 in the 12-team playoff. My bad. Hey, you know what? Go ahead. Let Indiana go in and be an automatic bye week for whoever plays them. Go ahead.
That's my thing, Josh. If you're Georgia and you're Tennessee and you're one of their fans complaining about Indiana,
You want Indiana.
But that's my point. Why are they bitching if they're so
at the same
good?
time, it's like
No, hold on. If they're that good, what does the seeding matter? If you're that much better. Well, if you're that much better, go out and prove it. Don't get blown out by
But
Ole
also,
Miss
it's
and
entirely
Alabama.
possible that Indiana can prove you wrong and beat a Tennessee
yeah.
or Georgia or Alabama somehow.
I mean, what have
You know
we
what I
seen
mean?
from
I doubt it.
Tennessee? What have we
It's-
seen from Tennessee or Georgia?
Just because you think it's doubted doesn't mean it can't happen.
I just doubt it. They had really good margins of victory against below 500 teams. Good for them. You're supposed to beat a bad team by a lot, but then when you got put up against the big dogs,
Oh my God,
you shit the
Kennesaw
bed,
State won the
and
second
in
game?
every facet of the game, you shit the bed.
But Josh, what about the SEC teams that are like Alabama that just got their doors blown off? By
Alabama should not be in the top 15.
I agree.
But my point is that in Tennessee's another one. They lost to a terrible Arkansas team. Like,
Back in
Arkansas
early October.
is more mid, but they're not that bad.
but I'm saying like Indiana, the same level of competition. Like, if you put Indiana on the field with Arkansas right now, I think Indiana wins.
I mean, hold on. Let me check. Let me check something real quick because I believe, Tennessee beat Alabama as well.
Yeah.
So
I also think Georgia. The thing with Georgia, those two losses, especially, they were getting blown out.
Georgia lost to Alabama, which that was not a blowout.
They were up 28
It was a
to
blowout before Alabama started coasting.
Yeah, Alabama took their foot off the gas, Josh.
Oh my God, that's bullshit.
What? They were up 31-0.
That's fucking bullshit, though. Oh, they took their foot off the gas. No, Georgia made some adjustments, and Alabama wasn't able to score. That's bullshit.
And they still won by 10, though. So
Yeah, after Georgia came back and fucking tied the game. Yeah, Alabama ended up winning by 10. Look,
Okay, what about the other loss to Ole Miss? That
the
looks
loss to
bad.
Ole Miss at Ole Miss is inexcusable. I don't understand how Georgia loses that game after beating Tennessee. Just no idea. Maybe Lane Kiffin drew it up to where their team could win. He threw a squirrel out in the middle of the field. I don't know.
Threw a squirrel.
The squirrels.
Oh man, I couldn't believe that Carson Beck was terrified of a squirrel. I was like,
Carson Beck's out here fucking throwing interceptions like crazy. It's tough. But the answer is, would I favor Georgia by more than 2 touchdowns over Indiana? Absolutely.
Lucas makes
Would
a great
I favor
point.
Tennessee by more than 2 touchdowns over Indiana? Absolutely.
Tennessee was also favored by 2 touchdowns on the road against Arkansas.
Okay.
So let's get to the actual game because we weren't really talking about that. So Indiana scored early. I think they were up 7-0, and then they
looked good. They looked very good on that drive. They got Ohio State to a quick 3 and out, made them punt, went down the field, and were. Ohio State's cornerbacks were getting cooked on that first drive. After that, I don't know what happened.
After that, Indiana took their foot off the gas.
Okay.
But yeah, no.
After that, Ohio State's like, oh, yeah, that's right. We're playing football.
Ohio State remembered, oh, right. They were Ohio State.
Oh, man. Oh, guys, we're Ohio State. Silly us.
So,
we thought we were Miami of Ohio.
I mean, getting into Indiana, it's obviously they're still 10-1, and I think their case for CFP is still kind of strong. Obviously, they're not going to be in the Big Ten championship, but it's really them. It's Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, and Indiana are the 4 teams that probably could make it in. It'll be interesting to see really if a 2 or 3 loss SEC team makes it over Indiana, regardless of what happens, then I think it's just going to be interesting to see how this goes. I do like that Indiana's position is stronger, though, after Saturday's events or the rest of the day's events.
Yeah. Overall, I think like you said, Indiana's locked into the playoff. I think who do they play this weekend? Purdue. Indiana could go out there and lose to Purdue, and they're still in my opinion.
No.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes.
I don't.
I think with the amount of everybody the issue is I think it was 13, 14, 15, 16, all lost. So, and those were the majority of the 2-loss SEC teams. You're going to slide those teams back. So, it gives a lot of teams, we'll get to this later, but somebody brought this to my attention that Notre Dame on the playoff predictor went up to 90% now, even with a loss, because they just gained a huge margin of error because
Indiana did?
No, Notre Dame in Indiana, even with a loss.
Okay.
I think it was 90% playoff predictor because the teams that would have taken their spots all lost. So I think you're going to see I think Ohio State could get blown out, Penn State could lose, Indiana could lose, Notre Dame could lose, Miami could lose. They're all going to still stay in the playoff because they're not going to if you put a 3-loss SEC team in, especially if it's Alabama, who has 2 losses to 2 unranked teams, not only will the Big Ten protest, the ACC will protest, the Big 12 will protest, and you'd best be sure Notre Dame will protest. You will.
My question is if SMU loses because they're in the ACC championship, right? And I think I'm not sure if it's been determined if they're going to be playing Miami or Clemson. If SMU loses, does Clemson then jump them, and does that knock them out of CFP as well? Because I don't know if the ACC is going to get more than one team.
SMU's already clinched a spot. SMU's clinched a spot in the ACC title. Now,
no, I know that, but say they lose that game.
No. SMU is locked in as long as they win their last game and they.
No, I'm saying that if they lose the ACC championship.
Oh, they're still in. Same thing with Miami. This is what happens when the SEC crumbled this past weekend. You open the door for a second ACC team.
Does the ACC get 3 teams? Does Miami, SMU, and Clemson?
No. Maybe, but I think it depends on how Clemson performs against South Carolina. If Clemson goes out there and dog walks South Carolina, there might be a discussion. But
okay, well, Josh, do you have any thoughts on that, real quick?
On what teams not getting in, or
real quick, just what I was suggesting about the ACC. Could the ACC get more than 1 or 2 teams in the CFP, depending on how
more than 2? Absolutely not. There are situations. I'd say what's more likely is ACC gets 1.
So the loser of the so say SMU wins the championship and beats Miami, and Miami has 2 losses. Miami doesn't make it then? Josh?
Let me check. See, so Miami is. All right, Miami's got to win next week. But
Oh yeah, Miami plays Florida State, right? Or did they already play? Who did they play?
Miami already played. So I think Miami gets in. I think I think Miami, either Miami and whoever wins the
ACC
conference championship.
Okay.
Legitimately, I think that's who gets in.
Now, what happens if Miami loses to Syracuse this weekend? Clemson blows out South Carolina, and Clemson wins the ACC title. That means you would have 3 2-loss ACC teams.
Yeah, but one of those won't be in the top 12.
You think they'll get 2 of them at least?
Yeah, the more I look at this, I think 2 ACC teams is likely.
Which is crazy because there was just a week ago or 2 weeks ago that Rhett Lashley was saying, man, everybody's calling us a 1-bid league. Look at them now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on. So, Alabama is actually in the midst of its worst regular season since 2010. They are still, according to the AP, they're number 13 in the AP poll, which would, I guess, suggest that they're just outside the playoff. Obviously, they're still getting too much respect by the AP poll and possibly the CFP.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I think they're getting too much respect. I think that this loss should have dropped them out of the top 15. If you look at Alabama's losses, you've got one that's actually ranked. They have two unranked losses that coming from Vanderbilt and Oklahoma, and it just I feel like people are still kind of holding on to the old guard here.
And
They're like,
hoping
but
that
it's,
still
but it's
Alabama.
Alabama. It's, they got all those 5 stars and oh man, I just, I'm not buying it. Not anymore. They lost to a terrible Oklahoma team. There's no excuse to get blown out like that.
They look terrible too.
Yeah, they played like crap. I don't know what DeBoer is doing. Whatever.
DeBoer.
Yeah, DeBoer. I don't know what he's doing down there, but he's doing something wrong. And
I mean, DeBoer now has in his first season at Alabama, he has as many losses with Alabama as he had in his entire
coaching career at Washington.
At Washington, Alabama is 5-4 in their last 9 games against Power 4 opponents. This is Alabama's first 3-loss regular season since 2010. This is the earliest in a season Alabama has had their 3rd loss in a season since 2007. Oklahoma has now won 4 of the last 5 against Bama. Alabama is 1-3 in SEC road games this season. Alabama is 3-3 in their last 6 SEC games. Fewest points the Tide have scored in a game since 2004. This was Alabama's largest regular season loss since 2003. And this Alabama team is apparently the most talented in the history of the 24/7 team talent composite, with 17 5-stars. So,
but the annoying thing about it is that
they're playing like absolute garbage.
I can tell you the exact reason, because I think Josh brought up one of the main reasons, which is the old guard and it's Alabama, it's Nick Saban. Right? Well, Nick Saban's not coming back. He's not walking through that door unless I think Alabama fans and the boosters get on their hands and knees and beg, pretty please. He's not coming back through that door. And the part of it's the brand. Part of it is also, I think, and this is my issue with the SEC, teams can lose multiple games to unranked teams that are not good, even though you'll get some people that are SEC homers will say, well, Oklahoma's a good team. Auburn is a good football team. Florida is a good football team.
Florida actually is.
Kentucky is a good football team.
Oh, no, they're fucking not, dude.
That's my thing. And then they'll be like,
Florida's better than we thought they were going to be. We can say that.
Florida's better than we thought they were going to be.
The thing with
Bama
a couple
of ranked wins now.
The thing with Bama is, they beat Georgia. Okay. NIU beat Notre Dame. So, really, upsets happen. Evidently, Alabama was not that good if they got 3 losses and 2 of them are to unranked opponents. But again, it's the patch on the jersey. It's the patch on the jersey, the Alabama logo, and the memories of Nick Saban. That's what it is. Any other team, say Indiana, Penn State, even Ohio State, Notre Dame, Miami, if those teams went on the road and played Oklahoma and got beat 24-3, where do you guys think they would have fell?
What, if Ohio State did that? Ohio State would have fallen to 5.
No, okay.
No, I'm being serious. Ohio State is at the same level as Alabama as far as how people think of them.
Okay, what about Penn State? Well, Penn State lost last weekend on the road to a 5-5 Oklahoma team and lost 24-3. Where do they fall?
Depending on are they ranked what?
They're 4 right now. They're
4 right now. Probably 9th. maybe 10.
I think they drop all the way out of the top 12.
I don't believe that. Not with their resume. I don't believe that.
I just think it's crazy that Alabama gets, and it's not just Alabama, it's the SEC as a whole, but they get so much benefit of the doubt. I know it's going to happen.
Address this.
I know, Josh, but I know it's going to happen, especially when we get to the 14 team. It's going to happen one year where we're going to have a 4-loss SEC team that is complaining with 4 losses that they should get in. It's ridiculous.
Alabama. There's going to be Alabama fans still arguing that they should be in over some teams this year.
No. Again,
Yeah,
if you want in, which my thing is, if you want in, don't lose to Oklahoma. Don't lose to Vandy. If you're Ole Miss and you want to get in, don't lose to Kentucky. Don't lose to Florida. Don't lose to Florida. That's the same argument everybody else gets against them. Why is it different against the SEC? I don't know.
And perfect timing. We can transition to Ole Miss chokes versus Florida. They yet again, Ole Miss comes so close. It feels like this is how it's been with Lane Kiffin as their head coach.
Lane Kiffin.
They feel so close to getting to that top 10 or top 5 ranking and stuff. You know, they're going to finally break through, and then they just inexplicably lose. Their offense just looks terrible for an entire game, and they just lose.
It's like they're trying to get that dollar at the end of a string. It's like, oh, you almost got it.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, Jackson Dart threw picks on their last 2 drives. I think I saw something technically he actually threw like 3 picks in a minute's worth of game time.
And they were some of the worst interceptions I've ever seen.
And you've seen some bad interceptions, haven't you?
Hey, I have never seen anybody throw into triple coverage with not a single receiver down there.
Sam Hartman did that.
But you know what's crazy about this Ole Miss team is I saw Ole Miss fans on Twitter. They're in absolute shambles right now, by the way. They're talking about this is the best team. I was told by Ole Miss fans before this weekend, this is the best team they have ever had.
They're not wrong.
Ole Miss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best team you ever had, and you go 9-3. Oh, I think Lane might be done at Ole Miss. The amount of talent that he has.
We'll take him. I'm willing to deal with the Lane Kiffin bullshit as long as it guarantees 8-9 wins. I'll take it.
Oh man, it's
the
crazy.
way Lane coaches, he'd probably win the ACC.
And you know what's hilarious, Josh, is Florida fans have flipped. Florida fans early in the season, like, well, guess we're getting Lane.
Now Billy Napier's saved his career, at least for another season.
Yeah, Florida fans don't want Lane Kiffin anymore.
Hold on. Well, yeah, they don't want Lane Kiffin anymore. But pump the brakes here, because I just remember Florida fans saying they're going 10-0, 12-0, going undefeated. This is their national championship season.
This year?
All that shit. So I don't know what Florida fans you're talking to. I need to talk to them because I only get the crazy ones.
I've only seen one of those. And
his name is Scooter Magruder.
No, I was also told this year, Josh, that what was it? Who was their quarterback? Graham Mertz. He was going to be a Heisman candidate this year.
Oh God, Graham.
Oh
Mertz.
Yeah, that sounds like Florida fans.
Oh my God, Graham Mertz. What a name. What a guy. What a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I mean, any thoughts real quick on this game before we move on to the next topic real quick?
Ole Miss just absolutely. I'm trying not to curse here. Just crap the bed.
This is a family program.
They're not
Josh.
getting into the CFP. They're not doing any of that, and it's what it was. Lane Kiffin just had them unprepared to be on the road at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Is this loss more on Lane Kiffin or Jackson Dart?
I think the moment was too big for him.
For Dart?
Yeah.
Well, Dart definitely
that's
is
Kiffin's
not,
job to get him ready.
I don't even think Dart's gonna be like either an undrafted free agent.
Well, is that? But my thing is like, is it a Dart problem, Or is it a Kiffin problem? Because ever since Kiffin has been at Ole Miss,
Well,
they have
Ryan-
never Josh, they always fold in the big games. They always do.
Ryan, I think you answered your own question there.
Then
Okay.
it's a Kiffin problem.
It's a Kiffin. They call him Lane Whitman.
Like I'm telling you right now,
They
Josh,
call it Old Navy.
if you put Jackson Dart on Ohio State, Oregon, put him on freaking Kentucky. Kentucky, you know how much better Kentucky would be with Jackson Dart?
I'm actually not sure. I don't know what's going on in Kentucky. We're just allergic to offense.
Oh, man. I still don't get how Brock Vandegrift was a 5-star quarterback, but
I understand why he wasn't starting.
Please. Okay, let's move on real quick.
Auburn.
The game of the year thus far in the SEC, as Auburn outlasts Texas A&M in overtime. Ball hits the receiver right in the hands on the 2-point conversion, and he drops it. The SEC is pulling a Big 12, just cannibalizing Pac-12 cannibalizing the shit out of itself, being basically hurting its own possible playoff chances. And it's hilarious to see, but still we have it to where the winner of Texas versus Texas A&M is in the SEC championship 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
So, Auburn definitely needed this with Hugh Freeze. Definitely needed a win like this. Do you think that this keeps Hugh Freeze's seat cold or cools his seat off for a year?
Well, I think he was going to be safe no matter what,
Okay.
because of the recruiting. Auburn is recruiting at a higher level than they have been in a very, very long time. So I think they were going to give him at least one more year. But I think him winning this game, I think it secures his job a little more.
Probably adds like an extra year, unless
Yep.
it absolutely
Which, by the way,
Well, he
sideways
wasn't going
next
to be
year.
out after this year, you know.
Huh?
He was not going to be out after this year.
No,
So
what
they
I'm
would've
saying
given
is
him
like
one more season.
what I'm saying is this win on top of being given one more season, he gets another season after this because of this one win. Or
It's possible. You know, he could completely shit the bed next year, and then that'll be year 3.
Yeah.
So, but as far as our favorite coach,
meanwhile, Texas A&M does Texas A&M things just like Ole Miss. They can't get out of their own way and put themselves in a position to actually compete. You know what I mean?
I like how Mike Elko slipped up in a press conference the week before this game. They asked him, were you looking for, or are you looking, are you overlooking?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, looking forward to Texas? And he said, we're absolutely looking forward to Texas. I mean, yeah.
Auburn.
So, yeah, Auburn.
That's literally, and you know what? You know damn well.
That is a Freudian slip.
That was Josh, I bet you that Hugh Freeze played that for his guys too. Because
he should have.
And the thing is,
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Something people should know about the relationship between this podcast and Hugh Freeze. Okay.
We interviewed him. All right,
Absolutely. He's our favorite college football
him.
coach because he's our only interview. We interviewed him when he was at Liberty.
All because of him responding to a tweet I sent out about him not being ever being the head coach at Virginia Tech.
Fantastic.
Because I said the only way he would ever be coaching at Lane Stadium is he'd be standing on the visitor sideline, and he directly responds to me in a DM saying, "Appreciate the support." I don't think he realized that I was dissing him, but then I realized later that he must have just been sitting on his phone on Twitter, searched his own name, looking at tweets from people. You know what I mean? Because I did not include his.
You didn't tag him?
Account name. I didn't do at Hugh Freeze, whatever his account name is. I just said Hugh Freeze. So he was searching his own name on Twitter.
What I do want to say, shout out Hugh Freeze, but we had him on our podcast. And Josh, I don't know if you know this part of the story. We were told by his attorney or something like that, or his secretary,
it was
not
his
to ask anything.
His daughter, who was his assistant at Liberty.
The only thing we weren't allowed to ask about was his time at Ole Miss and what happened with the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that.
and the thing is, he hops in the live,
and he immediately
says,
starts
"It's
talking
okay, you
about
guys can ask me about it."
we were like, okay.
All right, cool.
So
That was probably
me
something.
And, another member of the group, Coster, who's no longer with us, started doing it, and then Ryan decides to pop in.
Bro, I was. You guys did it at like fucking 8 a.m. I'm like,
well,
you guys
we
were like, "Are
had
you
originally
coming?"
planned to have it as me and Coster interview him, not
All right,
you.
all right, guys. All
All
right.
right,
The
anyway,
trip down
what I do
memory
wanna
lane
say-
was supposed to be a nice little thing, and
What
it's
I
gone
do
too
want to
long.
say really
Gone
quick
worse.
about this game, when I have a couple buddies of mine, Matt and Kelvin, that are huge A&M fans, I was told all year that everybody was going to learn Elko this year, whatever that means. Well, evidently, his players didn't get the memo, because they didn't look like they learned Elko last night, going down 21-0. And the body language I saw, I'm glad that they responded, but the body language I saw was from a team that was focused on Texas the next week, was not wanting to play that game that night. I don't know how much you guys watched the game, but I just got that vibe the entire game.
Well, I mean,
Auburn-
it is also the fact that they haven't played Texas in 12, 13, 14 years. So, I can understand that, but at the same time, you can never overlook a team that you're playing.
No, especially not in the SEC. There's a bunch of good teams.
No,
in
you
the
can't.
SEC.
Even
Their
a
records
team
may
as
not
bad as
actually
Auburn
reflect
has been. Okay, let's move on to the Big 12, where it is just chaos.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
championship-
you talk about chaos.
The championship matchup has not been set. There are 9 teams in the conference that are still in contention to make an appearance in the championship game. So I'm going to read this whole thing. I apologize. 2-team tie scenario. The two tied teams with a 7-2 record in the conference are the participants. A 3-team tie. Colorado loses. It would be Arizona State versus Iowa State. Arizona State loses. Iowa State versus BYU. Iowa State loses. Arizona State versus BYU. BYU lost. This is where it gets crazy. If Texas Tech beats West Virginia, then if Baylor beats Kansas and Cincinnati beats TCU, it's Colorado versus Iowa State. Otherwise, it's Colorado versus Arizona State. If West Virginia beats Texas Tech, it's Arizona State versus Iowa State. There's a 4-team tie scenario where it'd be Arizona State versus Iowa State. And then for teams who are 5-3 entering the week, they must win and see at least 3 of the 4 6-2 teams take a loss. So we're not going to know until the end of this.
I swore that people said if Arizona State and Iowa State went out, they're in the Big 12.
That's what it is. It's the 2-team. I guess it's whichever 2 teams are 7-2 at the top of the conference are in. Because we're the standings right now. Actually, that's
I do not envy who has to figure that out mathematically.
Yeah, I mean, now it
sounds like a kerfuffle.
Because there are 4 teams that are 6-2: Arizona State, Iowa State, BYU, Colorado.
Well, it's just as confusing for the SEC because when A&M lost,
It's not as confusing for the SEC.
Yes, it is because Tennessee fans after A&M lost were like,
but now it's Georgia's in. It's Georgia, right?
Georgia already clinched, but the thing is, Tennessee
Georgia's
fans,
clinched. So
Now
whoever
Georgia
wins
versus
between
winner,
Texas and Texas
versus
A&M.
but the thing is, Josh, Tennessee fans are putting out on Twitter that they still have a shot to make the SEC title.
Why is Texas and Texas A&M gonna tie?
I don't know how
that's the only way. I think.
So anyway, it's funny how we all were hating on Arizona State, thinking they were going to be terrible, and now they have an inside track possibly to the CFP.
Well, we weren't hating. Just besides Scattaboo, I mean, they had just lost Jaden Rashada, who was a borderline 5-star quarterback. Like Lucas said last night, they were never supposed to be this good. They weren't meant to be this good.
So one of our rare misses is one
very much so. Yes, we've actually been very right on a lot of teams this year.
Well, Arizona State and Indiana were 2 teams that we got terribly wrong this year. We had Indiana finishing at the bottom of the Big Ten, and we had Arizona State finishing in dead last in the Big 12.
Okay, so we were very wrong on both teams, that's fair. We obviously predictions. We're going to get those wrong, but
Hey, we nailed Mississippi State though.
we did. We did nail Mississippi State.
Nail them to the cross.
But it is interesting. BYU's pulling a pit, like, you know what I mean, or where they lose that first game and then they immediately go on a losing streak, right?
No,
Yeah.
that's a BYU.
That's a BYU Jew.
That's always whoa. Okay, that is one player that likes to be called that.
No, he said you can call us the BY Jews.
No, he said you could call me the BY Jew.
Are you saying JEWS?
Yeah.
BY Jew.
Oh god.
There's
okay.
Is it their quarterback? He's Jewish.
Oh, okay.
So he wants to be called the BY Jew, which is fine because it keeps BY losing.
Yeah. So I mean, but anyway, the Big 12 chaos has reigned, that's always how it's been with them as well. They also cannibalize themselves. I mean, it's a good story, and obviously Kenny Dillingham's going to be a leading candidate for Coach of the Year honors for both the Big 12 and national, probably with this with how he's doing with this team, especially if he gets on the CFP.
Did you guys watch the game, by the way? And
how it ended with the extra 1 second or whatever?
Well, no, yeah, they took 15 minutes to clear the field, and they're like, you just hear the PA, please get off the field. The game is not over. And it just gave me flashbacks of that, what was it, Cal and Stanford game from a long time ago where the band and the fans stormed the field.
Or it reminds me of the BYU versus Utah from a few years ago, where Utah rushed the field 3 separate times, and each time BYU had another chance to try and either tie or win the game, and so it was just chaos.
And like Josh, I know you said you envy the people that have to do the math for the Big 12.
No, I said I don't.
But I don't envy the people that have to get, 60,000 plus people from off the field back into their seats.
Oh, there's no way that was all 60K on.
Well, I'm just saying, like, just in a general number, there was probably 20K.
There's probably about 20. Yeah, I'd say about 20.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
How do you get a drunk college kid to go back to their seat when you've got like
you don't you just push them to the sideline and they all scrunch on the sidelines. That's usually what happens.
Yeah, and if they can't fit on the sidelines, they'll go.
Imagine if BYU had won on that Hail Mary, the absolute shit show that would have happened. The fans would have rioted. That would have been insane. Okay. And then Kansas is the ranked team killer. The first team in FBS history to win 3 consecutive games against ranked opponents while unranked themselves, and I believe also under 500. They went from 1-6 to now 5-6. They just need to win one more game to be bowl eligible. And obviously Colorado had an inside track to the CFP as well, and lost. So I guess you just don't want to ever play. Huh?
Kansas has been giant killers for a while now.
Started with Texas.
Remember, they used to beat up on Texas all the time. So, I'm not super surprised, but a little surprised that they got those ranked wins, and then, I guess it's because of their schedule and their record. But good job, Kansas, for making the Big 12 interesting.
Rumor has it that Kansas is the reason that Texas left the Big 12.
That's fair. They're like that.
Can't do nothing over here.
It's the meme of we're not afraid of anything, but that man, Kansas logo.
That thing
terrifies me.
Yeah, that thing scares me.
That thing scares
me.
Dude,
you know how nice how happy I bet Texas fans are that they don't have to risk going on the road to play Texas Tech anymore too.
They just get the Charmin softest schedule in the SEC. It's wild.
I don't know why you guys did that. It's almost Texas like you catered to them.
We did. Oh my God! Act like everyone else was on board with that.
What did he say?
I said the SEC catered to Texas and gave them the easiest SEC schedule.
Yeah, everyone else was not on board with that. And they get basically the same thing too next year, except for home and aways are switched.
Okay. Ryan,
Meanwhile, Meanwhile, they look at Oklahoma and they're like, "You're gonna get the gauntlet."
Yeah, they turn around.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's like, so we get an easy schedule too, right?
Ryan, you want to pull up?
I got it. Yeah. Yep.
So, real quick, both this and our pick'ems are going to be based on the AP poll rankings. That's why if you're watching,
we'll look at this real quick, and then I also have the projected what they project based off of the
the CFP.
For the CFP bracket. I'll pull that up after we look at this.
So we have Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Tennessee, Miami, SMU, Indiana. Okay, I mean, I really don't have any true issues. I don't know. I'm glad that that there's a second ACC team in the top 10, and I'm fine with Indiana not being dropped that far. They went from like 5 or 6 to 10. That's fine, right? First lossless season. It's always weird thinking about how there's teams with like 2 or 3 losses ahead, or 2 losses ahead of teams with like 1 or 0 losses sometimes. But also Georgia being ahead of Tennessee, even though they lost to Tennessee, right?
No, Georgia beat Tennessee.
I'm sorry. No, yeah, Georgia beat Tennessee. I mean, I don't have any issue with the top 10. Clemson, Arizona State's up. Ole Miss dropped. South Carolina is coming out of kind of nowhere. I like that. UNLV, elite program for Phil right there. And then Army is still ranked. That was surprising, but I guess that makes sense because they were like 19 or 20. So I guess they weren't going to drop that far. Only having 1 loss now.
And also, I mean, once you get past like A&M, it's kind of a crapshoot. You're just kind of looking for teams that you can throw in there at from 21 through 25, and I think they're like, well, Army has got 1 loss. So,
and I mean, obviously they want, because it's Tulane versus Army, so they want for the AAC. So I think they would want to make sure.
Well, no, technically that's not. Army's clinched the AAC championship. Tulane has to win this weekend.
Oh, they do?
Clinch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's for the appearance? Okay. I didn't realize that. But I mean, I still am mad that Missouri's still being ranked. I feel like they should not be ranked. They've just looked mid all season long. So that's about about the only team I have issue with being ranked. Right?
They beat UMass by more than Georgia.
Give them a cookie.
At UMass, by the way.
They also got skull drugged by Texas A&M.
That is very true.
Up and down the field.
But hold on, let me.
Every time I turned that game on, Texas A&M was driving.
Scoring again.
Yes.
So my only thing here is Alabama, Ole Miss. You see what they're trying to do. Even with South Carolina, the AP voters are still trying to somehow justify a 3-loss SEC team getting in, because they know what's going to happen with SMU and Miami. They're going to play each other,
and thus more than likely, unless it's a close game, then the loser probably gets knocked out. Because I feel like the loser gets knocked out and Clemson jumps up and takes that spot. I mean, if Clemson beats,
I don't know. I don't think you punish the loser, and the committee's even come out and said they're not going to punish teams who lose their conference championship
as much. I mean, we'll have to see. It'll definitely be interesting to see how it goes.
All right, now let me. I'll pull up the bracket real quick.
So this is just kind of a prediction, or
this is the projected by the model or whatever.
By the way, I'm a Hoosier hater. Just wanted to make that clear.
You are or you aren't?
I am.
So here's the model.
Should not be in the top 10, in my opinion.
So,
at like 11 or 12.
So they have Arizona State as the Big 12 winner then.
Yeah, because they're the highest rated Big 12 team.
Yeah. So Tennessee, Georgia. I like that. Tennessee, Georgia, that's going to be a good, nice matchup. SMU, Notre Dame.
I don't.
I think you would like that, Ryan. If
give me the Methodist versus the Catholics.
No, but then you get but then you get the Catholics versus the convicts. You get but you get Notre Dame versus Miami. You get to put your money where your mouth is. If Miami beats you guys, then you can't. Then they proved you wrong. Indiana still being in the top 10. I'm fine with that. I like it. So Alabama's first team out. Clemson is second team out. Interesting.
So something I don't like about this is you're seeing a lot of matchups and potential rematches from the season.
That's
with
fair.
This layout.
Well, I mean, Tennessee, Georgia
would be like they just played 2 weeks ago.
Oh, are you talking about like Ohio State, Oregon in the semifinals? If Ohio State beats Boise,
Ohio State, Oregon in the semifinals, Boise State, Oregon in the semifinals. You've got the battle for Indiana down there. Is that what
Indiana Penn State didn't
I'm done.
each other,
Hold
right?
on. No. Hold on. That's SMU. There we go. I had to make it bigger. SMU Notre Dame. Notre Dame basically gets to win if SMU wins that game, that is the ACC championship game again.
Yeah, if SMU does,
and if Notre Dame wins that game, they get to win the ACC championship game. And then you've got Indiana, Penn State. Yeah, those teams didn't play during the regular season, but I mean, they're really sticking teams. They're trying to stick these teams together in conferences. So Indiana, Penn State, same conference. Tennessee, Georgia, same conference. Stuff like that.
I feel like they're also they're also trying to make it to where they could get an Ohio State versus Penn State national championship. You know what I mean? Or Notre Dame.
Yeah, that would be awful.
Yeah, or
that would not be good for football.
Or get like a repeat, or get like a, something like that where it's like where there are some repeats and stuff. Like they definitely do want those rematches. I think, unfortunately, for some of these.
And what's really unfortunate for us is the only way that Oregon and Notre Dame would play each other would be in the national championship game.
Right now, at least. Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Well, Ryan would be paying.
For the tickets. We still got to get there.
Yeah, that's true. So.
Oh, it's in Atlanta? Oh, sick. Okay, I'll just drive.
I probably could drive too.
Another thing I'll say, this is just projected right now. This will change because when Miami and SMU plays, I'll guarantee that SMU and Miami will not be in the same part of the bracket because they're not going to want a rematch of the ACC title. But yeah, I mean, I do like, and I know Josh doesn't like it. I like pitting the only two at-large SEC teams against each other and forcing them to knock one of each other out.
See, I mean, I get the regular season, I'd be happier with it. The thing is, though, we already know which one of these teams is better.
Well, yeah, but it's hard to beat a team twice. They always say.
Plus the first game was at Tennessee, right?
This will be at Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah, this one will be at Georgia.
Plus, what I am liking is the fact how it looks is we're only getting 3 SEC. We're getting 4 Big Ten, 2 ACC. We're getting 1 Big 12, 1 obviously G5, and then Notre Dame. So
and we could also see, because this is not final, if Texas loses either to A&M or in the SEC title, then you might see Georgia swap spots with them.
Georgia
we could actually find out who the real UT is. Texas versus Tennessee.
I'd actually kind of like
that. I'd love to see that.
I would like to see that. Because they didn't play each other this year, so that'd be good. I think that'd be a good game.
The burnt orange versus the tangerine orange?
Huh?
So
it's orange.
I mean, it'll definitely be interesting. And then obviously, another year of this, and then it goes to 14 teams. So
the only thing I have seen people say though is with this, and again, it's not going to finish this way, but if with how this is, Ohio State basically is guaranteed a semifinal spot. Same thing people have said, well, you might as well book Notre Dame and Ohio State and Texas and Oregon in the semifinals because of the cake. But also Lucas and some other people made a good point of this. Oregon and Texas fans have been complaining that you get a harder path to the Natty if you get a bye week than you do if you're in the
first round.
Yeah, which I didn't even think of that. It is a harder path.
How?
Because if you're the number one seed, most things on how this would work is the number one team would get the worst team, right? Well,
yeah, but you get 9 or 8.
But the worst team would be Arizona State then.
Because you would think you would reseed. Because say Arizona State pulls the upset, then you get Arizona State versus Oregon instead of. But it doesn't look like that's
not how it would work. It's not how it would work.
Because it's not reseeding. If it reseeded after the first round, then yes, but it doesn't look like it's going to do that.
But that's what people are complaining about now is that it should be reseeded, and if you get a top 4 seed,
so to make it easier.
Yeah, if you get the number one seed, you should get an easier path than the 5 or 6 seed. Because if you look at Ohio State and Notre Dame's paths, their paths are easier than what potentially Oregon would have to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Oregon would have to play Tennessee or Georgia, which would be tough. You'd get a SMU and a Miami team in both two teams. I'm sure that 8 or 9 times out of 10, Notre Dame probably actually would win against, or, obviously Miami has a lot of questions, has been throughout the year. Meanwhile, Ohio State gets Arizona State instead of, because then it would be, because, that is right. I feel like it should, reseeding, because that's how the NFL does it. But then, MLB does not reseed, which is why you have teams that were 1 seeds losing in previous years recently since they expanded the playoffs, because they're getting the best wild card or second best or the third division team playing the 1 seed, right? And the 1 seed's coming off a bye. Meanwhile, the other team's hot and they lose, right? And that's the same thing.
I feel like we're getting too much into the sauce here, boys.
We are. Okay, let's move to the pick'ems. So these are the
caught
pick'ems.
Caught up to Josh.
Yes. Lucas and Josh and Ryan are tied. I guesstimated that this is what it was based on.
I sent it to you, or I sent it in the chat.
You put the actual scores,
numbers, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, not the actual. Oh, you talking about the records? No, I put the score in though.
Because that's what they. So somehow you went 12-8, but you somehow caught up to Josh.
No, I didn't go 12-8. Hold on a minute.
What was your number again?
Hold on.
I was about to say,
I get the number
116. Well, I was 1 point behind Josh last week.
Yeah, and if you went 12-8, but I went 15-6.
Yeah, that doesn't. No, that's not right because I did.
That doesn't make sense either.
Yeah, I did it. I did it on mine.
21 games, and he would have only picked 20.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I mathed it wrong. Sorry.
Okay. No,
I had to put it together very quickly.
16 and 5. See, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. So these, including for anyone on here, the spreads are from FanDuel, and then also the rankings are based on the AP poll. If anyone's any question that. So we got Minnesota at Wisconsin. Wisconsin, if they do not win, it would end their 20-year bowl streak. And also they also haven't finished with a record under 500 since 2001. So they would have to win this game and a bowl game to being at least above 500, because they've never finished at or below 500 since then. And Lucas wants us to include saying his picks.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I have it pulled up here.
Okay, I'm going to take but I'm still going to take I think this is actually a day game, so I do think Wisconsin's going to come out with a little bit more vigor trying to get that bowl game. So give me Scotty.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I think Minnesota is a better team than Wisconsin. But again, this is a rivalry game. I believe they're playing for Paul Bunyan's axe.
Paul Bunyan's axe.
And I think Minnesota, they don't have as much to play for because they're already bowl eligible. Meanwhile, the Badgers are looking for that 6th win. For that reason alone, and it being at Scotty, give me the Badgers.
I got it right here. Lucas is taking Minnesota.
Well, boys, just going to have to tell you right here, right now, I'm taking the Golden Gophers in this one because let me tell you something, bud. All right? If you're telling me, and I'm a Gopher, and I'm sitting here, I'm a Gopher, right? And you're telling me that I can make sure that those damn dirty Badgers don't get to go to a bowl game? Oh, bud. Oh, man, that is some motivation right there. So go on and give me the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Keep the Badgers from going bowling.
Miami, Ohio, 7-4 at Bowling Green, 7-4.
This is the top 2 teams in the MAC. This is the top.
This is not the MAC. Obviously, this is
No.
Is the winner of this in the MAC championship?
Yes, sir.
This is some action right here.
Huh?
So this is some grade A action.
Yeah.
Yes, this is some grade A
By the way,
action.
Miami, Ohio started the season 0-4. They have won 7 straight, all against the MAC.
$24 buys you a ticket, but you're only going to need the edge.
I like them to keep that momentum going. Give me Miami, Ohio. Give me the fighting Ben Roethlisbergers, which sounds very dirty to say.
I need to redo
that. Give me the Red Hawks in this one.
Okay, I'm going to try that one more time. Hold on, what day is this? What day is this game?
This is a Friday game.
Friday. Black Friday. We've got some midweek action. That's right. The Miami of Ohio. Hold on. Are they the
Red Hawks?
Red Hawks.
They're the Red Hawks. Okay. Wait.
Bowling Green's the Falcons.
Okay. All right. So they're both birds. Jesus.
They're both birds.
$24 will buy you a seat, but you're only going to need the edge. I'm going to take the home team in this one. Give me Bowling Green.
And Lucas is taking Miami of Ohio.
So you trust the Falcons over Hawks. Okay.
I mean, hopefully it's not a 28-3 scenario with the Falcons. So we got Nebraska at
We're going to leave that comment off the screen.
This is the first time Nebraska has been bowl eligible since we're not putting that comment on there. This is the first time Nebraska's been bowl eligible since I think 2016.
Yeah.
I think they'll come out wanting obviously to prove that they can finish, maybe finish with an 8-5 record. So I think they're gonna come out tough. I think Iowa's defense is gonna work out a lot better. What's up, Finn? Give me Iowa. Hello, Finn. Can I pick you up? Hello.
So this one, I'm taking the Hawkeyes in this one. I think little what is it? Mini Pat Mahomes is not going to get it done against the Hawkeyes. So give me Iowa.
Yeah, go on and give me the Hawkeyes in this one. I'm taking Iowa.
What did Lucas take?
Lucas is taking Iowa.
All right.
So we got
Lucas is taking Ben Roethlisberger.
We got Arkansas at number 24, Mizzou. Mizzou is a 3.5-point favorite.
Battle for the boot.
Battle for the boot. Yeah.
Battle for the boot.
Yeah.
For the boot. That's a really cool trophy. Look that up if you haven't seen it.
Oh, the boot.
The boot.
At
least I'm pretty sure it's the boot. Hold on.
Lucas is taking who?
Lucas is taking Mizzou. I'm going to take Mizzou as well.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. It's not the battle for the boot.
What is it?
What is it?
The battle for the boot is Arkansas LSU.
What's this the battle of?
Not sure, but I'm gonna go on and take. You know what? It's at Missouri. I kind of want to take. Damn it.
Arkansas.
You know what? Give me Arkansas. Woo pig.
Oh, okay. So it's the Battle Line Trophy.
Oh, the battle line.
It's the border. It's the border. They call it the border rivalry.
I thought that was Mizzou, Kansas.
That's what it's. I looked it up on Google. Arkansas and Mizzou.
Oh, Kansas, Missouri was the border war. They always played at Arrowhead. I remember that.
Yeah, Arkansas Missouri football rivalry is
Battle Line Trophy.
yeah, due to the state line between the two states dividing the North and the South during the Civil War.
All right, give me. As Josh always likes to say on the program, go Tigers.
Wrong Tigers.
Okay. Grow Tigers. Okay, we got Kansas State at number 17, Iowa State. It's a 2.5-point favorite. Not Josh. Lucas is taking Kansas State.
Yeah, give me the Fighting Avery Johnsons in this one.
I'm going to take Iowa State because they're still fighting for – both of these teams are still fighting for a spot in the Big 12 championship. So, yeah, I'll take give me Iowa State.
Give me the Cyclones. I'm taking Iowa State.
The Birds. I always think it's weird. They call themselves the Cyclones, but their mascot is a bird.
Well, that's like Miami. They're the Hurricanes, but their mascot's a duck.
Doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean,
right.
you dress up as a hurricane.
Here's another team fighting for the Big 12.
Let me guess what side, bro. Lucas, I swear to God.
Oh, God.
What do you think? What side do you think Arkansas was on?
Arizona State at Arizona. Arizona State's an 8.5-point favorite on the road. I think if they win, they're in the Big 12 championship. So give me the Fighting Pat Tillmans, and Lucas joins me with taking Arizona State as well.
Give me the Fighting Blake Harrises.
The Fighting.
Give me the Fighting. I almost went here. Arizona State.
Wait. What did Lucas take for the previous game?
Kansas State.
Okay. And what did he take this one?
He took Arizona State in this one. Everyone took Arizona State.
Yeah. Okay. Memphis at number 18, Tulane, a 13.5-point favorite for a team that has the same record as Memphis. That's crazy.
Winner clinches a spot in the ACC or the AAC championship against Army.
Oh, so Memphis
Athletic
wins
Conference.
there. Got it. Lucas is taking Tulane. I'm going to take Tulane as well.
Yeah, I'm going to, Vegas knows something if it's a 13.5-point spread, and so I'm taking Tulane.
All right, give me founding member of the SEC, the Green Wave, Tulane.
Doesn't Tulane have more SEC championships than South Carolina, Arkansas, and
Kentucky
combined? And Kentucky.
That's kind of wild.
Yes.
That's kind of wild. No wonder you guys kicked him out of the conference.
They left.
Okay. We got the Iron Bowl, Auburn at Alabama, an 11.5-point favorite. Obviously, if this was at Auburn, I'd almost actually be tempted to take them, but they're not. So therefore, I'm taking Alabama, and Lucas is with me on that.
Man. Auburn's coming off of this win. Meanwhile, Alabama's coming off, the huge upset. I think Auburn goes into Tuscaloosa and they break the spirit of Alabama even more. I mean, you got two different emotions coming. You got a team that's broken and a team that's just won their biggest game of the year and is fighting for bowl eligibility. And I don't think Alabama – if you watch Jalen Milroe come off that field last weekend, that was a player that was defeated.
You mean?
Yeah. That was a player that was defeated, and I think Auburn takes advantage. Give me the Tigers.
He did not play well. He played terrible.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm here for the anarchy. I'm here for the Iron Bowl shenanigans, the chicanery. Go on, give me, you know what, I'll be safe. Give me the Tide in this one, but I would not be surprised weirder Iron Bowls have happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. South Carolina at Clemson. This is the battle for the state of South Carolina. What is it called? The Palmetto. What is it called? There's like a rivalry
Palmetto
name.
State. The Palmetto State.
Palmetto State rivalry. Yep. Couldn't remember. Something like that. Lucas is taking Clemson. I'm going to take South Carolina. If South Carolina can run the ball very well against Clemson, they win. Clemson's run defense is terrible. They just gave up a season-high number of yards against Wofford, of all teams. Nearly 300 total yards rushing by Wofford. VT didn't run that well against Clemson for some inexplicable reason.
No. South Carolina played Wofford. Clemson played the Citadel.
Sorry, Citadel. Citadel was the team. I knew it was one of those teams. But Citadel ran roughshod all over Clemson's run defense. That's also how they lost at home to Louisville a few weeks ago as well. Louisville just ran all over them. So if South Carolina can get that going, I think they're going to win. And I think they're going to maybe challenge – if South Carolina wins, I don't know if it's going to happen, especially because they have 3 losses, but I wouldn't be surprised if they get some consideration for the CFP if enough chaos happens with Alabama losing. Oh my God! Stop sharing his stuff. So yeah, give me South Carolina.
Give me I'm going 3 for 3 on this show tonight. Give me the Tigers.
Oh man. Oh. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you this. Lenore Seller's been on a little bit of a tear. South Carolina's better than their record is, believe it or not. If you remember correctly, they were only a couple horrible calls by the refereeing team.
To beat in Alabama?
Possibly, what are we looking at here? 10-1 at this point.
Yeah.
So, give me South Carolina to beat Clemson. You know what? And all the Clemson fans can storm the field after.
Okay. We got Cal, who has clinched a playoff spot, a bowl game. That'd be hilarious. 6-5 Cal is in the playoffs.
By the way, did you guys see the video of their quarterback Mendoza after beating Cal last weekend? They were talking about it Stanford, and he was like, I don't know why, but the voice did not match what he looks like. And they were like making fun of him on College Football Final. And I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. He's one of those people that's very literate, like almost too literate when they speak. And he sounded like an AI generated.
Well, no. Let's pump the brakes here. I have a question, and maybe you could help me out, Connor. How does one be literate when one is speaking?
I think are you trying to mean literal?
No. He's trying to mean that he speaks very well. He's a well-spoken person, and he doesn't look like he would be a well-spoken person.
No, it's not even that. No, it's not even that, Josh. It's he speaks too well to where it gives you an odd feel. They were talking about he sounds like an AI generated robot.
He's a very proper speaker.
I don't.
Is what he is.
Both Lucas and I are taking
uses
SMU.
Correct grammar and the English language in a way that makes you think that maybe he shouldn't, right?
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
Go fighting.
He doesn't say things like he speaks very literately. Because that's not what literate means.
SMU.
Okay, SMU.
All right.
Jeez. Miami at Syracuse. Oop, I have it. I'll take it, Ryan. We have number 8 Miami, a 10.5 point favorite at Syracuse. Lucas is taking Syracuse.
Ooh,
surprise.
I kind of like that because Syracuse, the Carrier Dome, I don't know what it's called anymore. It's not called the Carrier Dome anymore, but I like calling it that. Has some weird mojo about it. Give me Cuse.
I'm going Cuse in this one too.
Man, boys, you're gonna leave me alone on this. It's great. I love it.
You're gonna get 3 points.
So yeah, thanks for the free point. I'm gonna go to Canes. Get me a Caniac combo because the Miami Hurricanes are gonna win
Okay.
in Syracuse.
Okay, number 7, Tennessee, a 10.5 point favorite, and Vandy. Vandy's luck, good season is they're still bowl eligible. They're in a bowl. They're gonna be going to a bowl game, but their season has fallen away, unfortunately, a little bit. And Clark Lee is probably about to be hired away by some other SEC or Big 12 team to take over after this season. So give me Tennessee, and Lucas taking Tennessee as well.
All right, so this one, this rivalry is called the Country Music Bowl. I want to take Diego Pavia. I want to take Vanderbilt just to shut up all those Tennessee fans that think they're better than they actually are. I'll go with the Vols here, but it'll be close.
Yeah, I too am taking Tennessee, but it would be Vanderbilt could do the funniest thing ever.
That would be very funny. Okay, Georgia Tech at Georgia. Lucas and I are taking Georgia. Nothing else needed to say up there.
Ooh, this rivalry has a fun name. It's
What is it? It's
clean,
old-fashioned
old-fashioned hatred.
So UMass ran ragged on Georgia. Georgia Tech is
And
a great
still
running
managed to
team.
lose by 30 plus.
Georgia Tech is a better team than UMass. Much, 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 much better. What are they
They're
good
still
at?
going to lose by 30 plus.
They're good at running the ball. Georgia Tech arguably has a top 5 offensive line in the nation.
You want me to say it again?
I want to take Georgia Tech, but since it's at Georgia, give me the Dogs in a close one.
Yeah, I'm taking the Dogs. It's not going to be
Georgia?
close.
Maryland at number 4, Penn State. I don't know why you have this on here, Ryan. Lucas and I are taking Penn State, and I think they cover very easily. Maryland.
Is this a rivalry
Penn State.
game?
Huh?
Is this a rivalry game?
No, it's not.
Well, I'm asking,
is.
is it?
Is it?
Technically, it actually is, yeah.
I've never heard of this rivalry.
Technically, Maryland and North Carolina and Maryland and UVA have rivalries with each other as well, but they're not in the ACC anymore, Maryland, so it doesn't matter.
All right.
But yeah,
We're all going Penn State.
Lucas and I are taking Penn State. They're going to cover easily.
Penn State,
Yeah.
close.
Next.
Josh?
I already said Penn State.
Sorry. Okay, here's Josh's game. Louisville at Kentucky. Louisville at least has the chance to do something hilariously funny and screw up Louisville's season a little
They're
bit.
Kentucky is not
4-7.
5-7.
They're 4-7.
They're 4-7.
Well, there you go. That shows maybe who I'm taking. Lucas is taking Kentucky. I'm going to take Kentucky.
Josh always told me to never trust a bird with teeth. However, I'm going to trust a bird with teeth this weekend in Lexington.
Okay. Josh?
Well, I'm not going to pick against my Wildcats, but man, do I want to. Because I want the points, but at the same time, I'll fall on this sword. Give me Kentucky. Cats by 90. Louisville sucks. L's down. Forever.
L's down. What is it? Yeah, L's down.
L's down.
And we'll go last. Virginia versus Virginia Tech. The winner is bowl
Jesus.
This
the
is
battle for bowl eligibility.
The battle for bowl eligibility. This is the Commonwealth Cup, is what it's called, or the Commonwealth Clash.
Do you actually get a cup?
Yeah. Well, the cup is for all sports combined. You get points for against each other, and then there's like a trophy.
So the Louisville Kentucky game was the Governor's Cup.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Real quick, this is a night game for VT. This is gonna be an 8:00 game, and this is supposedly gonna be the coldest game in Blacksburg since 1987. 18 degrees at kickoff. is I'm going to be at this game with my mom. It is going to be freezing. We're going to be freezing our asses off, and I'm going to be both miserable in the stands and watching this game probably. So,
Are
you guys,
I'm sure Connor is secretly rooting for VT to lose this game so that they can fire Brent Pry.
I will admit that there's like 30% of me that's kind of hoping that's the case. Lucas is taking VT though, and obviously they're being favored at home, but
I'm gonna take the Turkey Birds because I've watched Virginia the last 2 weeks and they are god awful.
All right, what the hell is a Hokie? I don't know. Let's go Virginia Tech.
Technically, when you're asked what is a Hokie, you're supposed to answer I am. Hokie refers to the type of granite or marble used in the buildings around campus. It's like a type of stone.
Yeah, it's a specific type of granite to that geographical area, is it not?
Yeah, so like the VT Hokie Stone jerseys they have and stuff, that's what that's referring to is Hokie Stone is what's called.
Okay. All right. Way to nerd it up. I tried to be cool with it.
I'm sorry.
No. You know what? This is a podcast. This isn't a primetime TV show, so thank you for the info, Connor.
You're welcome. I'll take VT. It's probably going to be ugly like usual, these games. This is like the 5th or 6th time since 2014 these teams are meeting to win and with the winner becoming bowl eligible since then. So it's just intense mediocrity between both. Of course, the loser is going to be happy that they are going to be one step closer to firing their coach, while the winner is not going to be happy that they're not going to be able to fire their coach for another year. So give me VT, but if they do lose, at the very least, I hope our athletic director is fired. That way he can't screw up hiring the next head coach for our football team.
All right, this is a podcast, not a TED Talk. Thanks, Connor.
All right, boys and girls, it's the game.
The game. Both Lucas and I are taking Ohio State, and they're going to cover very easily. If this was at Michigan, I'd be willing to give them more of a chance.
If anyone else was in the comment section, I'd share that.
Oh man. So Phil's not here. We know who Phil's taking, right?
Yeah, we know he's taking Michigan.
It's Wolverines.
Actually, no, he's taking Ohio State. We know that.
Yeah, I say this. If Ryan Day pays $20+ million for this roster
and loses,
which some people are calling a super team, and he loses to Jerome Moore in Michigan, who is 6-5 at home, not only will he be fired, he will be thrown out of the horseshoe and told to figure his shit out and find his way home. There will be no police escort, by the way. He will have to survive on his own through the crowd of Ohio State fans.
Okay, can we wrap this up? I have to get to dinner, so let's wrap this up a little faster.
Okay. Give me the Buckeyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got Ryan's team, Notre Dame, number 5 at USC. Lucas is taking Notre Dame. I'll take Notre Dame as well. I think they win by like 21 plus. I think it's gonna be a blowout.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, give me the Fighting Irish. They got this one in the bag. They're gonna beat USC like a drum.
Oh my God! See, I know what the fuck you guys are doing. All right, we are.
This is gonna be Marcus Freeman's defining game. This is when we're gonna say he finally took the next step into being a better coach.
Now they're gonna lose to USC by 30.
Yeah, you guys are jinxing the shit now.
It's hilarious when it
Notre
comes
Dame.
to
All I say is this: we are focused on USC playoffs. What are playoffs? Notre Dame by a touchdown on the road.
In 15 years, when they're building Marcus Freeman's statue, they're going to look back on that game.
As the moment
that was when he made that next leap
and became the true head coach of Notre Dame. Okay, Washington at number 1, Oregon, who is nearly a 20-point favorite. I'm taking Oregon. Lucas is taking Oregon, of course. I'm sure we're all in agreement.
Skoducks and Huck the Fuskies.
Okay, Skodex. Game of the week, number 3, Texas at number 20, Texas A&M. Texas A&M has a chance to do the funniest thing ever because the winner of this, I think, is in the SEC championship, which is weird because Tennessee is ahead of Texas A&M in the standings.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're tied with 2 SEC losses.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, give me Lucas is taking Texas A&M.
Yeah,
I do think despite how this week went, I think honestly I do think Texas A&M comes out swinging, but I think Texas will win in the end. I think it'll be a close game, and it's good to have a big time rivalry like this renewed after 12 or 13 years away. So this will be great to watch.
Give me the Texas A&M Fighting Aggies to take down the Longhorns at Kyle Field at night.
I'm the only one picking the Longhorns. All right, we'll go.
No, Connor took Texas.
I took Texas.
Connor took Texas. I'm sorry. I for some reason I thought you did. Give me Texas though.
Lucas took A&M.
Ewers might not play. A&M. I still think Archie's gonna play, and he'll probably play well. Okay,
Kennesaw State.
Kennesaw State. They won their second game.
Yeah, they at FIU they beat last weekend.
Got him.
Oh, frick! Dang, yeah, it.
Kennesaw State is our team of the. Technically, I should have team of the year, not team of the week. Excuse me. Jeez. I had to put this quick.
There are Toddy.
I had to put it together very quick. I apologize.
But you know what sucks about the second win, though, Josh, is that now it raises the expectations for the new head coach that they hire off of Indeed.
Look, I'm telling you something, man. Teams should be afraid when we make them our team of the year because it guarantees them to have a horrible season.
Hey, put me, Josh, Connor, and Lucas on that staff, and we're going to the Natty, right?
We're doing great.
Okay, give me Louisiana Tech.
Oh man, give me Louisiana Tech.
Lucas is taking Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, we're
doing La Tech.
We're all taking La Tech. And our $1 ticket game. This is the worst game of the week. UTEP at New Mexico State. I was about to say Northwestern. What the hell is wrong with me? I'm so tired. Not Josh. Oh my God. I just need to get out of here. Lucas is taking New Mexico State. I'll take New Mexico State as well. Actually, no. I'll take UTEP.
Yeah, give me.
I knew you like some minors, Connor.
Give me the fighting or the former fighting Diego Pavias at home.
Yeah, I'll go on and take New Mexico State. Fun fact, high school football playoff games in Kentucky cost $14 to attend.
So, and this game probably was about $5 to get into for this.
Probably worse than that.
Maybe.
Probably. Okay.
They make more money in concessions.
We will be back next Sunday following next week's games. This is going to be our new schedule going forward. It just works better for all of us doing the weekends, for most of us at least. So be sure to tune in then to see more. And do you want to do a live reaction to the playoff rankings or anything? Or do you guys want to do that on Tuesday?
I feel like we
should haven't done that.
I feel like we should do that for the final one. Save it.
Okay, we'll do that for the final one then after the championships, after the championship games then. So we'll do that in 2-3 weeks time. But until then, guys, this has been the Week Zero podcast for Josh, for Ryan.